Novak, can you just clear up what happened at the end of the third set and the violation that you appear to receive from the umpire? Can you just talk us through what happened, in your opinion?
What specifically?
You gave the thumbs up, didn't you? And then there appeared to be a violation.
Yeah. Misconducted myself verbally, and that's what I got a call violation for.
Did you feel justified at the time that you had a point?
I mean, it's not the first nor the last time.
Novak, I wanted to ask you about this tournament and the vibe in particular. On Saturdays, in general, the first Saturday of the tournament has probably some of the biggest crowds tennis ever sees.
Mm-hmm.
As a player, I know you guys have your private areas and everything, but you've been here a lot. Does it feel differently for you? And do you feel when the place is really rowdy? And even in your match today, when Dennis did a jumping backhand within the point, the crowd were oohing and ahhing and stuff.
It was a great atmosphere. It's great to see, packed house in the first week of the Slam. And as you mentioned, I think that middle weekend is quite popular within the crowds here in Australia, but also the other slams, and because you get to see a lot of matches, singles, doubles, mixed doubles, and men's, women's. So you got got very rich schedule with matches from 11 a.m. to late night. So crowd is excited, and we are too. Of course, you want to see packed house anywhere you play, and Australia definitely loves their tennis, and they've been some of the most loyal tennis fans in the world for sure.
Novak, it was a tricky match to play against a gifted young player. How do you assess your performance overall?
Other than the little letdown that I had, when I was 4-1, 4-2 up in the third set. Other than that, I thought I played well, especially in the fourth set. I expected Dennis to come out and be aggressive, and he made a lot of unforced errors. I thought it for the first set and a half, and I just stayed solid from back of the court and served well, and played the right shots, and for the first two sets just had things under control in 4-1, and then I was agitated, and I just as I said, it should not happen to me. I know better. I have experience, but it does happen, I guess. And I allowed him to come back to the match. And it was important to start off the fourth set well. And it was close game, couple of close games, first two games, and making that break was crucial for me. So, but I like the fact that I was tested as well, because you want to be tested, especially as you are improving and kind of going along in the tournament matches, and opponents are going to get tougher. And I feel like I've been playing well, so things are progressing well.
The issue with the lights.
Yeah. Well, look, as I said on the court, I mean, I don't remember having lights in the past years at 5 p.m. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe not, but I just felt with such a low position of the sun and the lights, being switched on at 5 p.m. was completely unnecessary, because it was very bright, and there was no reason for the lights. But the explanation that I got from supervisor was that a TV requested that. So whatever TV says, we have to respect, I guess.
Novak, I don't know if you've seen Carlos Moya's comments about Chris Commode. He kind of said that he thinks the ATP is doing very well financially, and then he kind of names you and says you must have your own reasons for not wanting Commode to kind of continue his term. Can you A, clarify that is your position, and B, tell us why you think he shouldn't carry on?
Well, first of all, exactly to your point, I don't know why people keep on talking about me as being against Chris. Who said that was the truth? That's one of my greatest concerns right now, and of every council member, is that we have leaking information from someone within the council. in the last couple of months, and many of those things that have been leaked to the certain media are also not 100% true, and it's obvious that there is a certain kind of one-dimensional agenda in place, and players and certain medias are served with a quite one-sided story, and we all have to understand the complexity and how sophisticated the body of ATP is. Our job as a council members is to liaise with as many players as we possibly can, and as I was mentioning before, in the process of renewal of Chris's contract doesn't depend only on the players, it depends also on the tournament board representatives, so it's going to be voted on the board by both tournaments and players. From our side, we're going to do everything we can to speak to as many players as we possibly can during the Grand Slam, which is tough, specifically for me and the other players as well, but also in the next couple of months. So we have time. Where's the rush? I don't understand why there is a certain kind of, agenda or propaganda in the media against me or against the council members. Why do we have to rush with everything? It's a very complex process. We have to consider many different details and many different things before we make any kind of call or express our opinions or vote finally, whether we want Chris to stay or whether we want someone else to come in, and it's not as simple as it has been presented in the media in the previous period, and there, as I said, it's quite one-dimensional, and if we can simplify that as it has been presented in the media, it would be great, but it's not like that. It's far from that. All the stats and all the requirements and all the numbers and everything that some of you guys have been talking about or posting about is ATP is 50% players, 50% tournaments. So those numbers cannot be observed one-dimensionally. You have to understand what the whole process of how you got there, before Chris got there, before the president before him got there. Who was participating in negotiations or talks with Grand Slams or whatever it is that we're talking about. So it's far more complex than people think about, and I'm really sorry that, and I respect, I saw Stan's statement as well. I respect him, and we have a great friendly relationship, and I respect his opinion and anybody else's opinion, Carlos Moya as well, of course. But at the same time, I encourage them, and I encourage anybody else who has an interest to approach me, approach all the council members if they need more information, as we will do the same to them in the next period. But where's the rush?
A question about the match. I want to talk about Dennis. You've seen him. Talk about the difference between you've watched him, you've seen him, and then the experience of getting on the court with him and his game and his ball.
I think he's got pretty complete game. I mean, he's got a big serve, he's got a lot of rotation on the ball, and he can hit it flat, he can hit it with a spin. And I like his mentality. I like his confidence in himself. His approach is very positive to the court. He's always backing himself up. I like that. Obviously, he's lacking some experience and playing on a big stage in the big matches, but that's going to come. So I like the way he plays, and he seems like a guy who dedicates a lot of time to training and to the process of understanding of how he can improve. And this kind of experiences can only help him.
Novak, you mentioned late night matches earlier. I know they're harder than they seem. You're so meticulous in your preparation. Have you ever practiced really late in anticipation of having to play after midnight?
Yeah.
Are you crazy enough to train after midnight for a...
No, I have not done that. I don't think ever, but I have when I am aware that I'm going to be scheduled at night, first or second, from 7 o'clock, then I do train the day before around that time, around 7 o'clock, but not around midnight. Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to prepare, whether it's like trying to hoard up on sleep the day before? I mean, what can you do to make that easier?
Well, it just depends. I guess it's very also subjective. You know, there's somebody is an early riser, or you know, somebody likes to go to sleep late. It really does depend. You know, I'm not here with kids, so it allows me to sleep maybe a bit longer, or I have set, you know, different kind of rhythm than when I'm with my family. So I've been used to, you know, getting up quite early. So I do not specifically like very late nights and late matches, but it does happen, and you just have to, I guess, deal with it. If there is any particular way, I'm not doing push-ups in midnight, you know, before I go to sleep. That's for sure. You know, you train a bit later, and you know, things, you know, the whole routine is pushed back a little bit, but you also want to get a good night's sleep, so your biological rhythm keeps going in the right way, I guess. Thanks.